Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Thrashers Paradise. Today we are joined with Toronto's Depleted Uranium. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yep. Thank you,
definitely.
Christ.
What's going on?
Not much. How are you gentlemen doing?
Oh, doing fine on a Saturday evening.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks for having us.
We are joined with Corey, Andrew, and Nick. I'm using the pen to show because that's how it looks on my screen. I don't know how it's going to look in YouTube, but you know, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. What are you going to do?
Okay, gentlemen. So you are releasing your sophomore release, Origins. Or no, it came out January 28th.
Yeah.
So it's been a couple of weeks since then. How has the overall reviews been for the album so far?
Yeah, most of them have been pretty good. I mean, it's a very specific sort of taste, I guess you could say. We're just trying to be ourselves with the music not really fit in anywhere. So people like it, they like it. And the reviews have, for the most part, been really good. But just like anything, you know, you get the good, the bad, and the ugly from anything that's put out there.
Yeah, a little mixed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Depends who you ask.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Well, the main thing I would like to talk about is the song Alpha Particles, because that was the first signal that everyone got to hear about the song. And it's a very interesting story. It's been around since the beginning days of the band, and it just surfaced now. For you guys, what made you want to finally say, I think it's time to record it and publicly release the song?
Well, I guess Origins, the whole album was recorded in 2010. So the whole thing was, that's why we're kind of going with the whole prequel idea, is that it was recorded more than 10 years ago. It was never released. We all moved on to different things. We had different stages of the band and our growth. It was also our second guitar player, Blair. He ended up leaving after the recording of that. So we totally changed our sound. I guess the overall reason for releasing it was COVID happened and shut down absolutely everything. And instead of like band practice and shows, we kind of dived into old recorded material. And we all agreed that, you know, we were all pretty happy with how it sounded and like as a live performance. So we decided to just go ahead and release it.
Excellent. For you guys, when it came to deciding to bring this out, which song were you most excited to basically have everyone hear on this album?
Well, I guess for me, it's the whole album. It's only about 16 and a half minutes long when you get down to the nitty gritty. So the whole thing is kind of meant to be listened to as an album rather than individual songs where it's broken down. I guess we chose our singles, Alpha Particles and Beta Particles, because they're kind of a couple of the heavy hitters. But Alpha Particles, as you mentioned, it was like one of the original songs that we kind of came up with when we were first developing our sound back in the early days. And then that was like our first kind of math song, and that really got us into a taste of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with Andrew.
Okay, now, when you say math, what do you mean by math song?
Corey, you got that one?
Yeah, that's a hard one. Songs just sort of come up in jams. A lot of stuff comes up in jams, but then from that, extra beats are added here and there, taken away, odd patterns of them, and then avoiding repetition. So as well as unusual transition. So let's, throw an extra 5 beats in and that'll take us to the next part. And it makes it hard on the brain when you're trying to play it. So the idea was sort of make it as hard as possible to play. You want to be uncomfortable. That's sort of the math idea of it.
Yeah. This was the beginnings of the real kind of like 5/4, 7/4 experimentation with the band. Mm-hmm. This album just kind of, we sprinkle it in a little bit, but the self-titled album is where we really kind of go off with different kind of rhythms and, like Corey said, different patterns, stuff like that.
A couple of times we've had songs where we've done the parts to try and get everything down, but then we've got a marker board up and you've got all the different parts written out to try and remember how to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, our whole point was we didn't really want to have too many parts that repeated. We just kind of wanted to be like a journey of music. And that, like what Corey mentioned, is a lot of them were written from jams, right? So it's like, that moment where you're not thinking about how the song sounds and whether this goes good with that or how people are going to interpret it. It's just four of us making music.
Okay. For you all, does it make it difficult to try and remember each song over time, or does it get easier over the years?
I guess it's the older that we get, the harder it gets to play, I guess, because revisiting Origins, we wrote that again more than 10 years ago, and we're revisiting some of that material, and it's a lot of the energy that we put into it, right? Like, it's not like we're the most technical band or anything like that. It's just we like to put as much energy into it as possible.
Now, for you guys, is it still weird to say that Depleted Uranium has been around for 10 years?
No, I mean, like when people ask how long we've been around, we've primarily been like a live band. We've also gone through like a lot of like changes and things that have happened to the band, like personal injuries to people that were questioning whether the band was even going to be going on. Relationships have come and gone. Band members have come and gone. But the four of us are like right from the core of the beginning of it, pretty much. So after we were doing it for so long and then COVID hit and everything else, we're just like, you know what, we're just going to keep on going and write new material and just keep putting it out there, because I find it's just like, once we've been doing this for long enough, it's just a part of our lives, part of our routine. Like what you mentioned about band practice, it's like, that's just like our holy grail of Sundays.
Yeah.
Sunday's fun day.
Watch the Super Bowl. Don't watch the Super Bowl. Watch us jam live
on Instagram or Facebook Live.
Awesome. For you guys, as a live band, where is the go-to spot where if you're doing a show, it has to be at this venue? Or do you have a spot like that?
We've kind of played all over Southern Ontario, and from kind of bigger sized clubs to smaller restaurants. We played in basements. We played at a pizza parlor. We've kind of played wherever the show's happening. We're willing to play there because we're like self-sufficient. We don't need sound guys. We don't need anything. We bring our own lights. We have our own light guys. So our rehearsals are very much like our live shows. So we're ready to just kind of pack up and play anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere that has lots of energy. The pizza parlor in Peterborough was just popping up. Loving it. And it was great. You get to experience things really up close and personal.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I don't think I've ever been to a concert in a pizza parlor, so I might have to hit Peterborough for that experience.
Yeah.
Southside Pizzeria.
So, and they make a fucking great disc too, okay? Please order the pizza when you're there.
Okay. I definitely will, now knowing that. So for you guys, what is the weirdest or best live story you have from all your shows?
Yeah, there's a few of them. A lot of them end up just with like I guess bad stories of gear breaking down, strings breaking. I smashed Babbitt in the head with my guitar one time. I've fallen off the stage before.
Forgot a cymbal for a gig.
Yeah. So that's a lot of it. A lot of it's just basic stuff. I mean, there's always crazy stuff that can happen at shows, right? But it's I guess so much of it ends up being just like routine. After a while, it's just like it's it all depends on the audience. I find too on how crazy anything will actually get. But that's our thing, is that's why our rehearsals, we try to just emulate it like a show with the lights and everything, so that whether it's a small crowd or a large crowd, we kind of try to put out the same performance.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Now, for you guys, as being a Toronto band, and because of the very different music you do play, because there's not a whole lot of bands in Southern Ontario that do what you guys do. Do you find it a bit harder to try and stand out from the rest of the scene, or do you feel that you guys have your own special place in the scene?
I don't know. I don't feel we really belong to any kind of scene, to be honest with you. It's hard to really define or pin down. You don't really, go with any one kind of scene for the most part. It's just kind of heavy and fast. But
Toronto, I also find, got rid of a lot of the good medium-sized venues that used to play like a lot of like underground metal or extreme metal and stuff like that. And they just don't exist anymore. The real estate's too high. You can't run a club because then people will just come in and hit you with a bunch of fines, and then you can't even afford to run the place. So it turned into, there was an era where there was a lot of great places, but now it's like either like small bar clubs sort of places, or then you're at the next level where you're doing like 2,000 people in a venue type thing.
Crazy. So over this past decade, has it been crazy to kind of see that transition of those venues going, or is it just that's life?
I think people adapt, right? Like that's like where our whole like thing of playing in pizza parlors, playing in basements, playing kind of wherever it's, and that's where the whole, I guess, old school punk mentality comes. It's like nothing's going to stop it from happening. You just got to adapt. And if a place closes, there's going to be another place that's going to open up where you can do shows.
Speaking of all this live performance conversation that we've been having, is there a chance we could see Depleted Uranium performing and in some point of 2022?
I hope so. That would be fantastic. Let us know any pizza parlor in the GTA that wants to book us. Please, we're more than willing to play for pizza. We'll play for pizza. That's no problem.
We'll play at Mexican restaurants too, Nick. Don't
Mexican, like Taco Bell, for instance. We're working on a sponsorship with them. We got something in the works. Can't really talk about it at this moment, but we would love to play a show in 2022. Any spot in Toronto, any other band, any kind of like heavy band, fast paced, high energy. We'd love to play it. Dude.
Anywhere within 2 or 3 hours drive.
Yeah, basically.
And so much of it comes from our rotating lockdowns that we have, right? Like it was open for a little bit, and then they shut it down, and then there's this and that, and blah blah blah. Like the only show we've played basically since lockdown was the Ontario Death Fest, and that was just an online show. So we kind of put together an awesome video for that, but still, it doesn't equate to actually like a live show, right? It's more like a band rehearsal type experience. But yeah, we're always ready to play a show. We still rehearse weekly, and it just keeps keeping ourselves sharp.
Next topic.
For you guys, besides lockdown, what would it take for you all to agree to say no to a show?
I don't know. Murray mentioned a show in Edmonton at some point in the near future. Like we were all pretty much on board with that. I think we're all relatively flexible as long as we can all make it work for our jobs and families.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Is like we all have people that support what we do, like, and understand that we've been doing this for a while, and that it's all opportunity meets preparedness, right? Like if it lines up with our lives and our agenda as a band, then 100% we're all in. But again, there's certain things like, I guess, like there's like buy on tours and stuff like that we get offers for and stuff, and that's something we're just not in a position to do right now, because it's again financial burdens. But I mean, as far as playing shows, there's not really many places we wouldn't play, just because it's like, even if we're totally like the odd band out, it's like, so be it. People will remember that.
Very true. For you guys, well, where do you see the band in 5 years?
Well, hopefully we're in a different studio that we're jamming in now. Our studio now is like prone to leaks. I get like a leak usually like once every month or so. And now with the snow melting, it's happening a little more often. But yeah, I mean, our rehearsal spot we've been in for a long time, and I think that might be the one thing that changes. But as far as our lives and everything, it's like we've all kind of agreed that no major changes are on the horizon, so we're just gonna keep moving forward. We got a goal to pretty much release some new material as soon as possible. So after this whole Origins release and our videos that are coming out, Alpha Particles was just released, but our next video is out on February 24th. After that, we're probably going to start working on some new material. We have some stuff on the back burners, but for us, it takes a little while to brew.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I got one last question for you guys. It's a question we usually ask only first-time guests on the show. Who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God?
Trick question.
Is he high on that? Okay.
Airheads.
Yes. They got the you got the bonus question right too.
Perfect.
Well, Corey, Andrew, Nick, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules just to sit down with me and talk about Origins, which came out on January 28th. Is there anything else you want to bring to light or say right now while we still got you for this couple of minutes?
I just want to say.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Follow the Instagram, Depleted Uranium Band, at Depleted Uranium Band. Be checking in for all kinds of merchandise coming up. We're going to have like another live video coming out soon of us performing Origins, just fucking around, having fun, whatever, full light show. I just want to say thanks so much for the opportunity. It's been great,
Yeah, and if anybody's going to be looking us up, always remember to search Depleted Uranium Band. Otherwise, you'll get a whole slew of like articles about depleted uranium.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't even think of that.
Everything Depleted Uranium Band.
Smart. That was very smart to say, though. Add the band.
Yes, Google it.
Yeah.
But thanks so much. Twirling Colin Sterling, you're the best. 101.5 Indie FM. Fantastic. Hamilton, the best city on earth, I'd say, in my opinion.
That was our actual Origins actually started in Hamilton.
Yeah, we started
our first jam.
You get a little taste of Hamilton in those first couple songs if you listen to close.
Half the band used to live in Hamilton.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks so much. Next time you're in Toronto, hit us up for sure. We'd love to take you out on the town.
Or Newmarket, or Bowmanville.
Yeah, Bowmanville, whatever, anywhere.
Okay. I will definitely do that. I will take you up on that offer.
Yeah.
At some point this year.
And we'll let you know. We'll let you know if we get any shows going on.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you so much. And until next time, everyone, keep on thrashing.
Yes.